Hey, what's up? Welcome to Get Business Credit YouTube channel. Can you guys hear me okay? Can I get a one or a thumbs up in the live chat section if you guys can hear me? Sorry for the slight delay that I had. Just bear with me here. Okay, so you guys can hear me and everything okay? Am I too loud or do I need to adjust at all? I changed my settings around a little bit and I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. I had to get a new mic cord. It was going bad. Okay, sassy. All right. Well, thank you for joining. And again, apologize about the slight delay. I was having issues with my sound card here. Ignore this as well. I cut myself shaving. Okay, so we're going to get started in a moment. People are starting to come in now. About 2 more minutes, we'll get started. But while I'm waiting, go and get any business credit questions in that you guys may have, and I'll get answering those momentarily. I have a lot I want to cover in a short amount of time. A couple new fintechs that you potentially can get up to 500,000 in business credit that is no personally guaranteed. And I'm going to go over some tips as well about building your business credit. Especially if you're one of the new viewers or you just came across my channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and all bell notifications are turned on. Also, get those likes up, like Doc said. Get the likes up, please. Appreciate it. It helps the YouTube channel, the algorithm, get out to a wider audience. Share the video as well. Facebook, TikTok, anything. We're going to cover about 10 different sites tonight, and I'm going to try to do it in a short amount of time. So definitely watch this whole live stream. I know one or two of these 10 different sites that I'm going to show you guys tonight are going to be beneficial to at least some of you, but it'd be pretty hard to find anybody in this live stream right now that you're not going to benefit from something that I'm going to show or talk about. So if you're trying to build up business credit, or you're starting to build up business credit, or you're planning to start a business, this live stream's for you. For those that already been following all my past content and the recent content, just stay tuned because I have a couple of new fintechs that I've been talking about a lot recently that I was going to launch. Like this one is PECS. They offer like up to 500,000 line of credit on a card. So we're going to get into that here in a minute. But get those questions in and we'll get started here in a moment, okay? I'm going to go through the comments as well. So get all those questions in real quick. Give me literally like 2 minutes and I'll be right back, okay? All right, back. Okay. All right. You guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Please do that so it gets out to kind of a wider audience. We've only got like 10 likes right now, and there's 14 of you guys there. It takes only like a second. Anyways, let's get started. First, I'll go over the questions. So get those questions in now, but I'll start at the top, go through the questions, and then I'm going to go over all these different resources. Like I said, some of this is new that I've never talked about before. All right, so let's get started. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Michelle Enyart, that's my mother. Thanks for tuning in, mother. Silverman Fox, nice to see you. Dominic Luck, nice to see you as well. Not financial advice, I love that name. Sassy, what's going on? Nice to see you again, as always. Hey, Nick, how are you doing? Hope all is well. I sent you a text not too long ago. Not sure if you got it because I didn't hear back from you, but just let me know. Doc, motivate, loud and clear. Okay, we're going to get started here in a second. We'll go through these questions. Also, if any of you guys are interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, text now 937-423-9954. It's right below, and we can do a free consultation tonight after this live stream. So just text now. Anyways, so let's see here. Get those likes up. Yep. T-Ruff and my main man, what's up, bro? I try to call you this week. Yeah, definitely do, bro. All right, let's see here. You guys are starting to drop out. There's like 4 people left. Don't leave. I'm getting ready to get into all the good stuff, the gems, so don't leave. You don't want to miss what I'm about to cover. Never released footage before. Information. From the moment you start an LLC, how long is typical funding process? Doc, it really depends because, there's now non-traditional lenders out there. So there's like these fintechs. I have a lot of the cards behind me. One of my very first approvals back like 4 years ago, I was only in business for 3 months and got a $150,000 line of credit that you could liquidate from Divvy. One of my fairly new mentor clients, he just got a 110,000, I believe it was, line of credit as well. So it really depends. I would say the average person that just starts an LLC, the biggest factor comes down to, from a brand new LLC or S Corp, whatever structure you have it set up, does your business already have business started, like actual real customers, money coming in, or do you have funds in the bank? Even if you don't have any customers, you could still get funding as long as you have some capital. Like say you put your personal funds, personal capital, say you have some savings in your personal savings, 10, 20 grand, whatever it may be, even 5 grand, put that in the business bank account and give it as a personal loan from yourself as a personal loan to the business, and then the business is going to repay you. So, and then you could also charge interest on that as well. And then once your business starts generating money, you could pay it back. Or once you get, say, funding, you could pay it back to yourself as a personal to repay that debt, right? So the question's very hard to answer because, like I said, some of my students get funding pretty quick within like a month, and then some take 6 months or a year. There's too many factors involved. Just like I don't give any of my students or anybody that does a consultation with me and they ask me flat out, one of the very first things they ask me is like, how much do you think I can get if I'm joining your mentorship? Well, that's very hard to answer, and I don't give even really a ballpark at all, just because, like I said, right now I have like 47, 48 current enrolled students in my mentorship program, and I would say 50% of those are very active building up their business credit, the tasks I'm giving them every week to do, and then the other half are just kind of doing it at their own pace. But the ones that are really dedicating an hour to 2 hours per week in my client portal doing the tasks that I assign based on your goals and your situation, they tend to get the best approvals, or I don't, excuse me, I don't want to say best approvals, but they start getting, and this is actually several of the new businesses, the new mentorship clients that I have, the students, a lot of them are brand new business owners. Some are already well established, but majority of them are new LLCs that just started, say, in the last month or 2 months prior to them joining the mentorship. Even I do have 4 or 5 students that didn't join the mentorship and didn't even have a business. They joined the mentorship and had me help them set up their LLC with the state records, EIN, all that. I can assist on that to a certain degree, website, all that, get that all taken care of. but you really need like 2 billing cycles, payment trade experiences reporting on Experian. That's the most important one. I want everybody right now, excuse me. I want everybody right now just to get something out of their head. I've talked about it before, and I'm really getting sick of repeating it over and over. Especially all the consultations I do on a daily basis, 10, 15 consultations every day. And I can only qualify sometimes not even one in one day. Typically it's only like 3 to 5 per week that I can qualify, because I want to make sure the goals are aligned with what I can really truly assist you and help you, achieve. That's why I have no negative reviews about my program. So, but stay tuned. This is not just for my program. Even if you don't want to join my program, I'm going to tell you all this stuff anyways. So, one thing you have to understand is that Dun & Bradstreet was important many years ago. Okay. So I hope you guys don't mind me kind of rambling a bit, but I'm going to explain something to you. So my dad's business was started in 1896. It's a spring and wire manufacturer in Ohio. Right. And I never really worked for the company. When I was a teenager, I did, but I just hated the job. So I, never worked there more than a couple months. But one thing I did learn back then, and this is when I was like 14, 15, when, typical manufacturing and those that offer lines of credit, whatever it may be, they didn't have really the internet. Even say 2004, even as early as that, say 2004, typical underwriters and manufacturers and vendor lines, they weren't really going online to check someone's business credit. They weren't doing that at all, because, the internet's fairly new in 2004. Yeah, it's been around, for a decade, but, it really wasn't commonly used so much. There's not a database that could go online back then. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, there wasn't really a robust database from the Experian business. There was no such thing as Experian Business Credit. I mean, there was, but it wasn't actually used. It was only used about 5% of underwriters. And same with Equifax. Equifax was not even used at all. So if you take all the different business credit bureaus that we have today, and then you take Dun & Bradstreet, 90% of the time, even 10, 15 years ago, Dun & Bradstreet was the one that was always pulled. Okay. So, and how that was used is every 3 months, Dun & Bradstreet would send like a Yellow Pages, similar, just like a Yellow Pages, big, phone book. It'd be like that thick and super tiny letters, A to Z, different companies all throughout the whole US, right? They would send that to all their clients, all their customers, manufacturers, underwriters, all that. And then anybody that would apply for, say, a net 30 or a line of credit, the, underwriter or the one that's offering the vendor credit, they would look up the company's name in that like Dun & Bradstreet book. And it would be having basic data that there is today, but it's much more robust now. But it would give a score like A, B, C, D, E, and then recommended credit limit, and then it would give one other score, right? And that would be the PECS score, right? And then they would and then it would show a little bit of payment trend for the last 6 months and last 24 months and 12 months, but it would just be like one short line, right? And that's what they had to make their decision on, right? So fast forward and say 2020, let's say 2020, because that's when a lot of things bad happened, 2021 with COVID. And that's kind of what caused the problem with whole Dun & Bradstreet. That's one of the reasons I started the YouTube channel, because there was so much scammers on YouTube telling about business credit. And I've been building business credit up, for like 17 years now for my own businesses. I only started teaching business credit, when I got on YouTube about 5 years ago. But that being said, One thing you have to understand is like Dun& Bradstreet has, some of you guys may know, they have like a credit builder signal where you can pay like $30 per trade line or something like that, 30 or 45. But if you talk to them on the phone, they will try to get you signed up for something that's like $800 to $1,500 and sell you for this nonsense, you know. But you know, I got it back several years ago just to test it, right? And you can submit, I think with the package, it comes with 3 or 5 per month self-reporting trade lines. I didn't do this, but there's several out there on Facebook that I came across, and I actually talked to an executive over at Dun& Bradstreet about this when it was happening. And I turned one of the crooks in about this because I didn't think it was correct. It wasn't right. And it kind of screwed a lot of people today trying to build up business credit. So there was a couple rings. Stay away from anything that's like CPNs and shelf corps, all that, people offering trade lines. You cannot buy trade lines for businesses. It's impossible. It's illegal and it's impossible. There's no way to get trade lines for businesses that you actually buy, like aged trade lines, not like authorized users that you can buy for personal credit. That's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's some people that try to offer like the CPNs or these shelf corps. One, shelf corps are worthless today. You know, shelf corps kind of were okay when it was Dun & Bradstreet back 2004 when it was being used by the manual book that Dun & Bradstreet would send out every 3 months. So a shelf corp back then, you could get business credit and it's beneficial. But in with today's technology, you could spend all those thousands of dollars on a shelf corporation, and it's no different than just starting a brand new LLC today because everything restarts. Underwriters aren't stupid, and you have to file in your own state anyway. So why pick up something that's already pre-existing and you don't know any history about it either? And do you have any tax information at all, transcript on the business at all from the IRS? No, you don't. You know, so just don't get the shelf corps. They're worthless, pointless, and if you're doing it with the intent to try to build business credit, to a certain degree, it's kind of like gray area legality wise. So just avoid that. There's zero benefit about it. I know there's others that still try to say shelf corps are good, but I'll tell you, why are they pushing those shelf corps? Because they have affiliate or a partner link and they're making a lot of money off that. They sell like 3,000 to 5,000 for a shelf corp, and whoever's promoting it is going to be getting like 500 to 1,000. Same with these expensive personal credit repair. A lot of this you can do for free, especially with today's technology with AI. So don't be paying these, people. Stay away from it. It's not that hard. You just have to dedicate some time. But sorry to get off track there, but I'll get through the content here in a minute, but I just want to explain this last point. Stay away from anything that's about anybody that's talking about PECS score, you get 80 PECS score or higher. Stay away from that. It's nonsense. And I'll tell you why here in a minute, but Dun & Bradstreet is rarely used by any financial underwriters. So if you're trying to get packaging tape and cardboard boxes, by all means, build up your Dun & Bradstreet. I'm not saying don't do anything, don't build up Dun & Bradstreet, but I'm saying don't put a primary focus on the PECS score, because that means nothing. You can have 100 PECS score and 20 trade lines on Dun & Bradstreet, but it's not going to get you much, you need to build them up all kind of evenly if you're just starting off, right? Like a foundation, 3 to 5 on each one. And most trade lines will only report to one bureau. Some report to 2. But it's very rare for it to be more than 2. So don't just assume that you got a trade line at, say, I don't know, CO Creative, and it's going to report to all the bureaus. A lot of those, like, I don't want to call them nonsense, but one, stay away from like Summa Office Supplies. That's a scam. They don't even report. They've been banned by most all the business credit bureaus. And they actually have like 3 other companies under a different name that offer the same thing, but it's not legitimate. It's just like they just started a new one, and you're buying they give you a $2,000 credit line, but that credit line doesn't matter at all because credit line's not actually being reported to the Business Credit Bureau because they can't even report to any bureau. They got banned because it's like, again, it's against the rules with the business credit bureaus where you're paying for a trade line. Like NAV or Fair Figure, you might ask, or eCredible, you might ask, how are they able to report, you're being charged a monthly fee basically for a credit line. Well, they're not really giving you a credit line and they're providing a service to you and you're on an auto pay. So that's how they can report that payment. And it's just like a utility bill type payment, right? So you're getting payment history with that. And there's tons of different things, say different bills that you pay on a monthly basis, hosting, domain, telephone, voice over IP phone, any of those utilities, light, power, oil, gas, anything like that, you can actually get those reported to Equifax and CreditSafe. If they're not already reporting, you can get them reported using eCredible. The links are in the description below and you get a discount. But why not get those submitted? And it doesn't cost anything just to get them submitted and benefit off of it. Even if they're not even in your business name, as long as they have something linked as far as like you work out of your home and it's your home power bill, you just have to attest that you're running your business out of your home and it's associated with the business. So you can get it actually reported to CreditSafe, then no problem. And CreditSafe is becoming more and more important. They're actually the #1 business credit bureau in the world. By data wise, they were big in Europe. They were like the Dun & Bradstreet in Europe, right? So they have a big presence now in the US. But kind of let me get back to the point what I was talking about Dun & Bradstreet. So this scam thing was going on, this ring where you paid like a $300 fee to somebody on Facebook and they would say promise something like guaranteed recommended credit limit with Dun & Bradstreet of like 100, 200,000 or something like that in 30 days or less and 5 trade lines or something, right? And so what they would do is get like say 10 different people signed up and they're all new businesses or fairly new. And then they would put all that data on a like an Excel spreadsheet or a private group on Facebook. And then the person that was doing all this like manipulating would say, okay, business A that just signed up with me and paid me $300. And then business B that just signed up and paid me $300. Put in this information about each other business. And then business C that signed up, it's like they would tag each other and submit it through self-reporting on Dun & Bradstreet. And they would just Dun & Bradstreet would verify it and call. And they would actually be calling one of the other customers that signed up for this manipulation thing. So what happened by that is, during COVID time, a lot of financial underwriters were actually using Dun & Bradstreet to make credit decisions. And then about a year and a half into, like, say, 2022, that's when all this came crashing down. There was issues with, like, say, complaints with the FTC and all these major underwriters, Synchrony, all of them, didn't understand why they're having such high default rate. I see a lot of people leave and don't leave. I don't know if you guys are leaving because of the presidential debate, but don't leave. I have good stuff. Sorry if I'm rambling too much. I'm just trying to cover all this, so don't leave. I'll try to speed up a little bit. But if you guys want me to talk more about the Dun & Bradstreet and why it doesn't matter, PECS score doesn't matter, put more info, just type more info on DNB, and then I will make a video either later tonight or tomorrow about this more in depth, okay? But get any questions in as well. So I'll cover that. But hands down, #1 thing that you should be focused on when you're building business credit up, and if you're trying to get no personal guarantee in business credit, then what you need to do is focus on Experian Business Credit. You need to focus on all of them initially, just for some starter vendors. But Experian Business Credit are the ones that you want to focus on, any of those type of trade lines, and those are the hardest ones to get. If you look back here, you'll see all those cards, and then I have all these cards here. American Express, invite only black card. So how you get all that, of course, the American Express is personally guaranteed. So is my other 11 American Express cards. But, not even counting anything with American Express, because, there's no preset spending limit. So I know with all my cards combined, it's probably $3 to $4 or $5 million potentially the limits are. But if you take away all the American Express cards and you just focus on, say, all those cards behind me, and the other cards that I have, you're looking at like $2.4 million in business credit that I got with a brand new LLC. When I started this YouTube channel, I wanted to start using a brand new LLC when I started the channel, so it would be transparent and not use one of my pre-existing businesses that already had some credit and age built up. So it really wouldn't be fair. But that's right. I got 2.4 million, probably even more than that by now, because I just stopped counting like 2 years ago. But I have almost every top possible business credit card out there. Not traditional banking, because I stay away from those. There's no point to get those. Anybody can get those with a good FICO score. I have good FICO score, but I didn't want, all those traditional banks. There's too many other options that are no PG. Why get those when you can get all these other ones that have very high limits? And most of my fintech cards, they have anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 limits. Business gas cards can be unlocked for multi-use. They have to say MasterCard on them though. So stay away from a lot of the WEX ones. Those are just nonsense, and they're now personally guaranteed. But there's different business gas cards, such as like the Super Fleet. I think now it's 7-Eleven, Fuel Man, Business BP. Those you could actually get those unlocked after you get the account built up. And you have to think of it as, even if you're not in the trucking business, those cards are great, because you have to think their primary customer or clientele are trucking companies. It's not cheap to fill up 18-wheelers. So the typical starting limit is going to be 6,500 was the lowest limit I got. And then when I applied for the other ones that are underwritten by the same underwriter, different brand gas cards, they were like 10,000 and then 19,000. And then I got limit increases within like 30 to 60 days because of usage very quickly, where combined, like those 4 or 5 business gas cards, combined limits were almost like $200,000. Actually over 200,000. Now that I think about it, on the 5th one got an increase. So, I mean, if you just take like, say, 10, 12 cards that I have, and half of them are fintech that base off your business income or your business banking activity, and then the other half, say 7 or 8 cards, base 100% on your Experian Business Credit report. But those 15 cards combined are almost like 800,000, 900,000 in limits, and they could all be liquidated potentially. Of course, you have to pay it back quickly, because most of them are like 30-day terms or 45-day terms, but you can use one to pay another, and, keep doing that. That's, one way you could do it. And those are going to be reporting the balances. Another thing good about business credit, you guys have to understand is, so, on personal credit, scores come down, and your personal credit comes down to like 5 factors: account mix, your utilization's the number 1 factor. On business credit, comes down to like 80 different factors and points, right? And it's too hard to even go through all those. That's why with, each bureau, there's like 3 to 4 different scores as well. Stability risk score, Intel score, you got your PECS score, but each bureau has like anywhere from 3 to 4 different scores. You know, Experian, all the personal scores, you just have one score. That's FICO. Vantage 3.0, that doesn't even matter. But yes, I mean, on personal, let me correct myself. There is different FICO versions, but you know, you have to do some digging to look at those and you have to get them from my FICO. But the actual standard FICO score is going to be, you know, your Experian FICO, right? So, and I'm not going to get into all the scores and stuff, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is, so, you know, with just Experian individually, right? When you look at that report, hang on a second, like camera just zoomed. Okay, I don't want to get too deep about this on, you know, Experian and stuff as well, because again, I'll get sidetracked and this will be another hour topic. So let me just make a note here. I'm going to make a video about this more in depth because I do want to cover all these other websites as well. But bottom line is with personal credit utilization, you want to keep below 3%. That's kind of a golden rule. That's like when I pay my credit cards off down to 0, I actually take a little few drops points wise. You know, I pretty much hover around 805 to 815 with all 3 bureaus. And when I pay down to 0, it actually gets down to like 798, around that, you know, 790, somewhere in there, right? So, but it's been so long since I've even done that. You know, I pretty much keep it at the sweet spot is 3%, where all my utilization, not all the cards, just some of the cards, I keep at just 3% always, right? So it shows some activity. But like I said, with business, you want to show a balance. So that's the thing, that it can affect your score to a certain degree. But if you never show a balance, how can things be reported? Just think about that logic. Because if you look on, I should have Experian report pulled up here so I can show you. But if you got a credit line, right, just like Uline or any net 30, never get it and get the invoice right away, right? And think, I'm going to pay it early. Like, I'm going to pay it right away. So then, you know, they're happy and it's going to help my business credit. That's the wrong way of thinking, because if you pay it too early, it's never going to be reported. Why it won't be reported is because it's basically going to be in their system as like a prepaid order because it was paid so quick, right? So you need to give it time to generate, and pretty much all credit lines and underwriters, they report to the business credit bureaus between the 27th, like today. Even myself, I'm going to be reporting my mentorship student data by tomorrow to CreditSafe and Equifax business. But they update their data from the 27th. Not all, but most of them do. Synchrony does around like the second. Fleet Core does like the 4th of the month. NAV does the 6th of the month, I believe. But pretty much all underwriters on the business side, they report to the business credit bureaus the last 3 or 4 days of each month for that month. And then it's implemented by the business credit bureaus the first 7 days of the month of that for that previous month. So if you got something, say a credit line, you know, in June, it's going to be reported on upcoming July, obviously, but it's going to be usually around the first week of every month. That's why you'll see, if you have the Experian Business Advantage account, you'll see a lot of the updates and everything is reported typically always around the 2nd to the 6th of every month. You know, it's rare to see something that's going to be reported showing on, say, the 15th or 17th. Anyway, so you do want to show a balance. Well, let's back up here. I'm getting too ahead of myself. This is ADHD at its finest. But back to the prepaying invoices or paying the invoices. I get this question all the time. How soon do I want to pay the invoice? Say Uline Quill or whatever it may be, whoever it may be. Don't pay it too early. Like I said, it's not going to generate, it might not generate the trade line for you or the reporting. What a good rule of thumb is paid about 5 business days before the invoice is due. So if it's due, say, on a Friday, let's just say tomorrow, it's due on Friday the 28th. I would pay it no later than, say, Tuesday the 25th if it's going to be a instant payment. But if it's going to be like ACH, then I would pay it, 5 to 6 business days earlier. So just never pay it, more early than, say, 7 days, because you're taking a risk of it being labeled as prepaid, and some of these underwriters and net 30 vendors, they'll start to get a pattern to see, like, if you're purposely always paying early, they're going to say, just prepay it in the future. They're not stupid. They can see if you're trying to manipulate, the business credit bureaus as well. Dun & Bradstreet can be easily manipulated. That's why it's rarely used now as the primary underwriting decision factor. It is still used, but it's not used anywhere near as much as it was before. So if you're trying to get all these cards or any of these cards, focus on your Experian Business Credit. However, getting those trade lines are very, I don't want to say very hard, but there's, for every one Experian trade line you can get, there's like 20 Equifax, right? So it's a lot easier to get Equifax and credit safe trade lines. However, just think of it this way: if you're trying to get business credit cards, anything financially related, then it's going to be pulled by Experian. If you're trying to get, say, vendor industrial type supply, computer parts supply, like the Dell business line of credit, that's pulled through Webbank is the underwriter, and they pull Dun & Bradstreet primarily. And they also pull Experian Business Credit as well. So like Newegg computer parts, they're going to be pulling Dun & Bradstreet. Lowe's, however, underwritten through Synchrony. This card, the Lowe's for Pros, that one, that's underwritten through Synchrony. Synchrony pretty much always pulls for, like, Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard. That's going to be pulled through Experian to make their decision. However, the only card that they underwrite that's not pulled by Experian, I should say two, and that's Floor and Decor, and Lowe's are pulled through for the underwriting decisions, is pulled through Equifax, right? So a lot of this stuff you may not understand and might not matter to you, but why go after all these stupid trade lines and credit lines that aren't beneficial and aren't really helping you? Like, I'm not going to get all these nonsense ones that other people are always promoting. They're promoting because they're benefiting off of you signing up, or they just want to sound like an expert. I mean, I've dissected everything. There's a reason I have so many approvals. I've studied and, researched all of the underwriters, this tiny print, even behind the websites, the code, everything. I'll get to the comments here in a moment, but I'll stop rambling here in a second and go over these websites so we can get on with that. But anyway, so yeah, in short, just so Equifax business, if you're trying to get no PG business auto loans, then Equifax and Dun & Bradstreet is primarily used. They go hand in hand with each other. However, you do want to have a strong Equifax, because Ally Financial, that's the typical no PG business auto underwriter, and they pull Equifax business. However, there's more and more, like, say, Ford Motor Credit, even BMW. You're starting to see more and more approvals recently that are no PG business auto loans lenders. However, those are a little bit harder to get. Ally's by far the easiest, and you only have to be in business. Even I've seen people get approved only in business for 6 months. Ideally, you want to be a year or more, and have solid trade lines across all of them. But you want to have a high trade line, at least one reporting on all of the bureaus. And when I say high, you want to show a balance that you've paid of at least, say, 1,000, 5,000, or 10,000, somewhere in there. Higher the better. That's going to improve your chances for, your credit limits, even for getting, say you want to get a fleet of 10 vehicles for Turo. You might have a tough time getting that. It may only be offered one or two. If you're only have all these smaller trade lines reporting, doesn't even matter if they're 10 years old or whatever, and you have a good payment history, it may not be enough because it's not showing that. Like if you guys just go after all these net 30s and these different trade lines that only have, you're spending $100 or $200. Don't you think, you guys just ask yourself, don't you think these underwriters and the business credit bureaus, don't you think they figured this out? Like, they don't really watch YouTube videos, I think, now, but years ago they did. And if it's disclosed, then it's going to be caught. They hurt if they're giving bad data out. That's how they make their money. So for anybody that thinks and listen to all these other YouTubers that say this, I'm not saying they all say this, but there's a majority of them that do say this. And you see in these Facebook groups saying, get Uline, Quill, Sunbelt Rentals. And, some of those I do recommend to my one-on-one business credit mentorship students, but I do it strategically based on what they need and what's their overall short and long-term goals. Give the video a thumbs up if you're just tuning in. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Promise I'll get to the goodies here in a minute. But just understand that, don't you think these business credit bureaus and these underwriters are smart enough to understand that, hey, Joe Blow at ABC Plumbing has been in business for 6 months and he has 15 trade lines reporting on Dun & Bradstreet or Experian or Equifax? It'd be hard to do that with, Experian unless you did some personal guaranteeing. But the point of it is, if you have all these trade lines reporting and they're always balances of like $50 to $200, $300 combined, they're only totaling, say, $1,000, $2,000. That doesn't show that your your company's financial is stable. So you have to demonstrate that your business is stable financially. How you can do that is I don't want to say high limits, because limits don't matter and you're not going to see limits on reports, right? Only thing you're going to see, only the underwriter will actually see recommended credit limits, but they won't see the actual disclosed limit issued by, say Sam's Club, No PGA Business, MasterCard. Say you have one for 15,000, reports to Experian Business Credit, and say another lender or underwriter pulls your business credit. They're not going to see that Sam's Club business credit card. They're not going to see what your limit is. They're only going to see your recent high credit and your payment experiences and your payment trends, right? That's the only data they're going to see, as well as your rich filmographic data. And that's another thing you guys don't want to lack. That can get you to denials and low limits if you don't have the rich filmographic data. So just think of it that way. These typical small vendor lines, you have to start somewhere. So I'm not saying don't get those. I would say just get 3 or 4 of those across each bureau. Make sure they're all reporting. So potentially say 7 to 10 in total, and find out who each one they're reporting to. And you only need, say, 3 to 4 on each one, right? So you could achieve that potentially with like 7 to 10 different trade lines. And those could all be starter vendors, but there are some of these starter vendors to stay away from. Like I said, Summa, Office Supplies, and Strategic Network Solutions, I think it is. They're owned by the same company, but they don't even report anymore, even though they say they report. So, excuse me. So stay away from some of those, but getting a couple of those initial starter vendors there's nothing wrong with that. But just understand that a lot of those starter vendors only report to Credit Safe or Equifax. So that's not going to really help you on Dun and Bradstreet and Experian. Is the hardest ones to get potentially, right? So just keep that in mind. So once you have those in place, 3 to 5 of them on each bureau, then you want to, instead of trying to get like say 5 more of those small type of, even if you're budgeting, you don't have much money business wise, you don't have a lot of business income coming in, don't spread yourself too thin and get more and more trade lines. I'd much rather have 3 good trade lines reporting that I got, net 30 vendors that I'm actually utilizing for my business that I actually need, rather than having 10 that I'm spread myself too thin because I just want to have all these different trade lines reporting. That's not going to help you, and they can see right through it. The underwriters and the bureaus, they notate that there's a scoring pattern in there. That's how they determine if you're high risk or not. So if you have a lot of different accounts and they're not showing either balances or they're not showing much usage, say $50, $100, then that's going to increase your stability risk score. So you need to have some high limit ones and good account mix as well. So what I would say is you really want to get one that you can use and that's going to be a report to Experian or Dun and Bradstreet. Those are the 2 most important, in my opinion. Obviously, all of them. It depends also, again, what your goals are. If you're trying to get the, auto loans, no PG, then don't even worry about Experian for this particular trade line that you're trying to achieve. But at very minimum, you need to show at least $1,000 balance and that it's paid, right? That's being reported. So that could be a Sam's Club, no PG business MasterCard, if you're doing it on Experian, right? Lowe's, they give you 55 days and 5% off with the lowest commercial account, right? And that reports to, that actually reports to Dun and Bradstreet, all 3 bureaus. So that's a good one. And even if you personally need to use it for your personal and then pay your business back with it. You could do that too, right? There's so many creative ways to do it. And then you have those high trade lines starting to report, and that's going to get you a lot more of these approvals. And like I said, out of the 2.4 million that I got in business credit, it took me about 16 months to get those with a brand new LLC. And it only took me about 4 months to get over 6 figures, right? And out of the 2.4 million, I want to say at least 800,000 of that is no personally guaranteed whatsoever. Maybe even more than that, but I know at least 800,000 is no personally guarantee. So I kind of rambled a little bit too much than I thought I was going to, almost 1 hour. So let me get in. I'm going to just go over these quick sites here real quick that I want to show you. The links will be in the description below if you want to sign up or apply for any of these. Just use those links. They'll take you, I think I have like 7 links below there. Some of them are partner links and some of them are not. So this one is called PECS. They've been around quite some time now, but it's not really been heard of. Not anybody's really promoted it because there's no, before they charged a fee to use it, and it was like a expense management and you had to pay. They didn't offer any type of credit line, right? It was like a prepaid card for your business. You could do employee spend control, right? So now they actually offer lines of credit. So let's go over that. The link is below as well. Use this and you're actually going to get discounts. They do charge a slight fee, but you're going to get, I think it's 6 months free. And even if you don't have business credit built up, you can still get this because they offer like a prepaid version, and that can help you too get graduated into the unsecured, right? So let's go over that and look at it. See, there's prepaid expense. So anybody that's brand new that doesn't have any income to show, then you could qualify for this, no problem. get it because, you know, it's going to help you with this underwriter. I always tell you guys that how important an interbanking relationship is, but you know, you could get this. But even when you apply, you can apply for both and it's not going to hurt. Even if you, the worst they can do is come back and say you're denied for the credit expense. But let's go over this real quick. There's no credit check too. Okay, so here it is, PECS credit expense. I'm gonna make a video probably tonight or tomorrow about this. Uh, real quick, I just want to plug this real quick. Anybody interested in the one-on-one business credit mentorship? I got a couple more students. I'll show you the client portal here in a minute. It's 30% off. I actually thought I took that away and didn't no longer doing the 30% off because I've had such high demand. However, I will honor it since I forgot to change the banner down here. So just text right now 937-423-9954 and we can schedule either a quick phone consultation tonight, or we can do one tomorrow and see if you're a good fit and see if you'd qualify for my mentorship. Anyways, so back to this. PECS credit expense corporate cards with incredible control. And real quick, anybody that put in a business credit question, I'll get to those here in a second, I promise. Corporate charges that come with greater flexibility, simple application and approval process. Apply now and receive 250 back on your first purchase. So that's what's good about using the link that I have down there. That's my partner link. That's why if you go to it, it says like you've been referred, and that's my referral link. See, you get special pricing for the ambassador referrals because I'm an ambassador with them, strategic partner. So you're going to get not only 250 back on your first statement purchases, and then you're going to get discount too. I think it's 6 months free because they do charge like $4, I think, per card, but 6 months or so free, I think it is. We'll cover that here in a minute, but you don't even need to request a demo, right? So you could just hit apply now, but let's go over it real quick. Wider merchant acceptance. It's a Visa, you get savings. It's the same thing that all these expense management programs are using. Fintech companies are using. Control card usage. I'm assuming most of you guys already know what these different expense management platforms are. Just each one's a little different. You don't have to use it. They're just free. Most people just want to use the credit line. So let's go down here. Why it works for organization instantly, funds and allocates. So this, like I said, this will work for even those that are doing the prepaid or getting a line of credit, or you can do both. It doesn't hurt to do both. You know, why not? It doesn't cost anything, you know, more to have both. You know, so let's see here. I'm not going to go over all that. It's pretty much, you know, self-explanatory. So what is the credit expense? It's a complimentary program that offers a non-revolving line of credit for small to medium businesses featuring weekly or monthly auto repay. So payment is due at the end of each statement period. So, you know, I know some of you guys might be saying, oh, it's only weekly. No, they do monthly as well on auto pay. But what's nice about it saying that it's weekly, well, weekly is a lot better than some of these other cards that are only like net one, net two, like Nav Prime, you know, and anything that starts off weekly, you can eventually get to say monthly, but you might be offered monthly right away. So those newer businesses that have low business income coming in, you might qualify because, you know, as you can see here, they actually point out small to medium businesses as their, you know, primary clientele that they're going after. Unlike say Ramp and Divvy and some of these other ones, they actually focus on say medium to very high cash companies that are new or established, right? So definitely try to get this. The link is, in the description below. It's only going to take you like 24 hours to get an answer through underwriting for the prepaid, or the prepaid is almost like just opening up a bank account. I did it, waiting on my cards, but you just get, I did both actually, but I didn't hear back yet on um, the line of credit yet, because I had to go through a couple different document changes and stuff. But like I said, all you have to do is just upload, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's just your tax ID letter and your state registration. Any of those documents will work. You just have to prove the business, and also the articles of incorporation or the operating LLC. All these things you should have when you filed your LLC or S corp or whatever. So it's only like 2 or 3 docs that they require. And then you do a phone verification thing of your face. You have to look right, left, up, down, just to verify your identity. It's through like a third party, and that's it. You have the option to connect to your bank. Obviously, you need to do that if you're going to go after getting the line of credit, and it's going to be auto pay. So definitely worth going after. You could. One of my students already got approved because I had a lot of my students go and apply for this. Not just one, I think it was 3 of my students that did it. I think about 10 of my students applied, and I've heard back from 3 that got approved. One got like 5,000 on a 30-day term, and then another got, I want to say 22,000, but on a weekly term, which that's a little odd. But and then I think another one was like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly. I want to say like 35,000, but I could be wrong. It could be, that could be a different underwriter. But I know at least 3 got approved, and 2 of them were monthly. I know that. So, and you might say, like, what can I do with these if they're only like net 30? Like I said, I even bought real estate. I bought, 3 duplexes. They needed major rehab, but the bones were fine. But I bought 3 duplexes a couple years back using these different net 30 fintech cards and business gas cards. I liquidated them for what I needed, about 6 figures for these properties, right? And then I used other cards like the Home Depot and Lowe's to, get the materials, and then I paid out a contractor to do the work. And then with that, when it came time 30 days later, keep in mind, I paid basically cash by liquidating these cards, paid cash for these 3 different duplexes, have them on Section 8 now. They don't earn major money, but, like a little over 3,000 a month after property management fees and everything. And that's paid it back pretty much completely, but essentially I paid cash for them, did the rehab. They're worth over 3 times more than what I paid now. But when it came time for those 3 different cards I liquidated, about the properties with, to be due, then what I did is I liquidated other different cards through different underwriters or whatever. I shouldn't maybe disclose this, but because it's part of my strategic methods. I'm not saying do this, but it's just a thing that I tested years ago to see if it would work, and how beneficial. Regardless, you have to pay it back. It's just like when you do these different card liquidation to pay for things, you do have to pay some fees, and those can be like 3 to 5%. But it's an option that you can do. But just make sure you have the funds to pay it back, because you don't want to get caught up and then get over your head like a lot of people do on personal credit, and take up bite on too much than they can handle. The only way I was able to do that is because I know I had plenty. One, I had personal savings, from selling my past company, but I knew for a fact that if worst came as a worst, I have 30 other lines of credit that I could make do to take care of it. So I definitely wouldn't do something like that if you only have, say, a handful of lines of credit, and you haven't really thought the whole process through. So just keep that in mind. But you can leverage so much business credit where you're never using any of your own money, period. And keep in mind, I got over 6 figures and my business wasn't making any money because it's a brand new business. The only thing I was reporting is just the ad revenue from YouTube, so it wasn't a huge amount back then. Of course, it grew over time. But anyway, so that's this one. Like I said, can I get more time to pay? No, you can't. It's just ACH. Can I prepay my balance early? I don't know why you'd want to do that, but there's information there. So the PECS current expense and disperse offerings are both prepaid accounts. A customer has to pre-fund their account and then load funds onto their cards. The credit offering allows customers to spend on the card and then pay it back the current balance at the end of the week or statement period. I don't really understand if they say they're both prepaid accounts, because it's not prepaid, because they contradict their stuff right here. So I don't get that. How does this different from prepaid expense? So wide merchant acceptance. So there you go. Improved cash flow. And that's all it comes down to, is the improved cash flow. That's what I was talking about when I bought liquidated cards to buy these 3 different duplexes that were really good price that I just had to act on quickly and didn't want any personal liability and on me at all. And I wanted to help build business credit with it too, because when you liquidate some of these cards and you're paying it back, I purposely let it report as high balance because it really doesn't hurt your score very much, and it's just a temporary thing that you can adjust pretty quickly, get it back up. Scores aren't so much important. What's important is what's on the report. You want a good account mix and payment trends, all that solid. It's kind of like what's in the sandwich. Having a plain cheeseburger isn't as appealing than having one loaded with all the condiments, right? So that's the best thing I can kind of use to kind of explain it. So I wanted to show purposely a 40,000, a 50,000, a 30,000 outstanding balance for these different credit card accounts that I had. I never paid it late. I always paid a couple of days early, but I purposely let it report, because then the next month when they update, it's showing those are paid down to 0. So that shows, geez, this company's very healthy. It's a fairly new company. And then it would be reporting 2 other lines that were 0 balance. And then those had high balances on it, because those were the funds that I used to liquidate to pay back the other ones. So, I'm not saying you guys have to do this at all. And I wouldn't advise anybody to do it without talking to me and, before doing it, because you can shoot yourself in the foot too. That's just one way that you could do things if you're in the position. Most people are not in the position to be doing that. Doesn't matter what you have, but you're probably not in the position to be doing it. That's why there is one-on-one mentorship. I give out all the information on here pretty much free. Don't charge anything for that. But unless you know how to leverage it and strategically use it, then you got to put time is money, and you have to put all the pieces together. That's kind of what the mentorship is. It's one-on-one based on what your goals and situations are. So that's why. Anyway, so yeah, I did the application. You just hit apply now. And it's just basic information. You can literally get this done in a matter of like 5-10 minutes, the application. So again, the link is in the description below. You're going to get $250 first statement credit for the first month, I believe it said. And then if there is any fees, I believe it's $4 per card. So only get like 1 card unless you need more. You can do the prepaid and the credit expense. And on the application, there's a section to select both, that you want to apply for both at the same time. So I would do that. And there's no credit check. no personal credit check at all. So it won't affect your personal credit score at all. This is only strictly on your business, no PG. So that's that one. So, and anybody, if you guys apply for this, put it in the comment section. Let me know the outcome, or put down that you just applied and it's pending, just so you can get a feel for it. All right. Anybody that needs I'm going to cover the rest real quick now, and then I'll get to the comments. Anybody needs a website at all, new website or redesigned, links in the description below. It's only $149 for this. It's a good company that's going to, you know, don't expect an elaborate big like Shopify store, but just to have that image for manual underwriters is very important. So if you don't have a website, or you have some generic ridiculous website that looks outdated or something, or even some of these ones on Fiverr are a little bit bad spelling, done by somebody in, say, India. Some are good, but typically those are going to be like $50 or so. But this is only $149, and you get your website. You know, they set everything up for you. They do edits, all that. You know, you know, what's nice about it is you can literally just a professional done for you website with VIP support. And you have the right to actually edit it too, adjust it. So that's what's cool. They will help you build it. They'll get it built, and then they'll help you with the domain, email, all that. And then, because that's all very important to have private business email. If you're using Gmail for your business email and you're applying for business credit lines, you might think twice about that, because there are some underwriters that will literally decline you, not approve you. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of business credit built up, they could still decline you based on not having an online presence and not having a generic. If you have a generic email like Gmail or Yahoo, that could hurt you too. So, you know, it's only $149, so that's the only reason I'm even recommending it. See, because the websites, if you really get a professional website, you can be spending so much money, you know, thousands. I used to do it for a living, you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. But with them, you get hosted. They do everything, and you got support. And right now, it was like $5.99, but it's only $149 right now. Okay. So, but if they try to upsell you other things, I would stay away from that. Just get the one for $149. If they try to upsell you for other services or something, just decline, you know. So the link is in the description below if you want to sign up for that. Next thing, real quick, I'm just kind of gonna breeze through these real quick. Anybody, I've made a video already about loot. If anybody or is looking for a working capital or a line of credit, more short term, under say 6 months, then I would apply for this, because the requirement is so low. They only require you to be having income coming in $2,100 per month minimum, or equivalent to $21,000. I mean, $25,000 a year. Most of these underwriters for like business actual lines of credit, BLOCs, are typically going to require 10, but now it's like most of them are requiring like showing 6 months of 20 to 30,000 in gross business revenue per month before you could even qualify for any business loans. But this one is they self-fund it. The founder and his partners, it's all self-funded. And it's revenue based. It's kind of like a merchant cash advance, but not really. I mean, it is, but it isn't. They offer anywhere from weekly paybacks, not daily, but they actually offer weekly, because a lot of merchant cash advances, they take it daily. And those things are just like payday advances for personal. They hurt you, and it's like you're always going to be drowning, and that can never get ahead. But at least with this, they do weekly and biweekly and monthly, and they will offer you different terms based on what payment terms you pick. So it's going to cost more if you're going to do monthly than if you do weekly. The loan rate's going to be lower. But I would definitely apply for this, even if you don't really need it, just to build up that interbanking relationship with this underwriter, because they are going to start to offer business lines of credit that is actually 12 months, 24 months, longer term. And they're, I found out from the CEO founder that they're only going to be offering that here in the very, very near future. And they're only going to offer that to those that are past clients, and they've only been around for a short time. So it's going to be like kind of beta tested, first offered, invite only to those that have already done business with them, that already took them, a loan out with them, a short-term loan. So there's no credit check, no personal guarantee whatsoever, nothing like that. And then they just draw it weekly or biweekly or monthly. And if you pay it early, that's why I said if you don't really need it or you're able to, get a loan, even if it's like say 5 or 10,000, 20,000, whatever, and then just use that money to pay it back, and then pay it back early, just to build up that relationship with them. It doesn't hurt because then you're going to benefit from their line of credit that might be very attractive later too on the second time loan. So you get payment skips too. That's what's nice. You never hear about that, but they let you skip payments for on-time payments. And then cashback rewards they give you, level up, pay off early and save, no prepayment penalty, no minimum FICO required, only need 25,000 in annual sales, and 6 months in business. So the requirements are by far lower than others. So if you want to apply, just click the link in the description area below. That's that one. The other ones I'm just going to cover real fast here. If you guys don't have Fair Figure, then you guys need to get Fair Figure. The link is also in the description below. In fact, all you guys should click all the links after this live, go through the description and go through all of it. And 90% of those you should be applying for or use, because if you don't already have them, you need to. None of them are going to be hard to pull or affect your personal credit at all. But if you don't already have Fair Figure, you're way behind the eight ball. You don't have to get their card because it can be high fees paying back. It is what it is. But at least get their service, and I think it's like $20 or $30 a month, and you actually get, using GBC 50, you get like 50% off for the first month or two. So definitely get it. It's similar to like NAV, but better in my opinion. They have their own scoring model as well. We're a strategic partner with them. Even my mentorship clients, we're soon going to be reporting to Fair Figure as well, because they are starting to have their own data warehouse. So I'm going to make another video about them too. I got a couple of videos I'm a little bit behind on, but this will help you build up your business credit score. It's very cheap, and it's going to further help you. So I would get the NAV, the paid NAV account. I think it's 49, Fair Figure, and eCredible. If you guys don't have those, then you really have no business building business credit. You should have those three right away, because potentially Fair Figure and NAV can give you 2 trade lines. But say you just got them for 1, it's still, that's 3 going to all the bureaus, right? But you could potentially have, 2 different account mixes from their different trade lines, because one's a card and one's a service, business service being reported. So you could potentially have up to, like, say, with those 3, you could potentially have 5 different trade lines being reported to, a majority of them go to all the business credit bureaus. That's very rare for one trade line to be reported to more than one bureau. And most of all these are going to be reporting to at least minimum of 2 bureaus. So you should get all 3 of those, hands down. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you don't get those, then don't tell me why you didn't get approved, because that can actually, once you have these, that's going to help you be able to get some of these other cards. If you're trying to get the PG Sam's Business MasterCard, Sam's Club card. This is a first step that you should be doing. These three, honestly, they don't even cost very much. Don't go after all these other ones that get like these. You pay a fee and get a credit line and overpriced crap. Don't just get this because they're actually providing you score and business credit data. So just get it. You know, you don't have to keep it long term, but why not? NAB you could have for a couple months, but fair figure I'd keep. It's cheap. Ecredible also cheap. You know, Ecredible too is great. I'll go over more about fair figure in another video. I just wanted to pop it up real quick. The other one is Ecredible Business Lift. Don't kind of stay away from the plus lift count. That's like $10 more a month. You don't need it. That's a Business Lift Plus. Just get the Business Lift. It's only $19.95 a month, and you get $5 off. I think it's 25% off using my link, GBC20, I believe it is. But if you use the link, I think it takes that off anyways. GBC20 or GBC50 or GBC25, I forget. It's one of those, though, and you're going to get 25% off. So get that. What's nice about Ecredible too, not only is it reporting to the business credit bureaus, but it's also going, and that reports to all business credit bureaus, Credit Safe, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet, and Experian Business Credit. So that's vital. You can't go wrong. $15 a month. Jesus. I mean, a lot of people say they can't stand Ecredible because their support's not very good. But hey, you pay for what you get, and you should be happy they're reporting to the 4 bureaus for $15-20 a month. I mean, that's crazy, crazy cheap. So they don't have basically funds or profit margins not there to have all the staff to provide customer support calls nonstop. They will get back with you. They do have support, but it's you have to be patient. They don't have 100 employees. So, but definitely get that because, like I said earlier, you can report your utilities, even personal ones. You could report if you use them for business. So for $15 a month, you could potentially have like 10 different trade lines being reported. They won't be reported to all 4 bureaus. They will for the initial one, but the self-reporting, those will report to either they always report to Credit Safe, personal and the business ones, as long as the personal ones have something to do with your business. And then Equifax, as long as they're in their list, they have like a database of like 3,000 different vendors they work with. A lot of them are utility companies, power companies, I think some trash service, telecom, and also like Nextiv, VoIP phone, I think Namecheap. There's some internet sites that a lot of you guys probably use that can be reported, like Quell, Uline. Those, all you have to do is you connect it, and it doesn't cost anything. So why not? Yes, some of these only like Uline reports to like Dun & Bradstreet, but Uline's not reporting to Equifax and Credit Safe. So why not try to have all the bureaus and all the trade lines kind of matching? Because they're not going to do it on their own. There's no point for Uline or underwriters and stuff to report to all the bureaus. They're only going to report good and bad payments to 1 or 2 bureaus. That's it. Typically just one. So, why not take, 5 minutes to get other trade lines that you have that you've already using. If they're only reporting to 1 or 2 bureaus, why not get them reported to 2 other bureaus, So, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't cost anything more, but then you can get anything else reported too, self-reported. If it's not in the list, you can get that self-reported too. You just have to pay a manual verification fee, and a third-party company is going to call you. Typically the next 1 or 2 business days, they will call you. You get on the phone with them. They have the information that you put in that you want to do self-reporting. And then they're going to do a 3-way call with, say, whatever company or underwriter or whoever it is that you're trying to get the the trade line reported as, they're going to call that credit department. And they're basically just going to do the 3-way call with you, get someone on the phone that's in the credit department, and basically they're going to say they're with the verification department of Be Credible, and that you're on the line and you're given permission to discuss your payment history, right? And then they're just going to ask like 3 or 4 questions to the self-reporting, the company that you're trying to get the trade line reported. It's basically the payment terms, how long how long have you been a customers of theirs, and have you ever been late? That's it. And do you owe any money right now, and has it been paid on time? They say answer yes, then you're going to be good to go. They're going to verify it, and then it's going to be submitted to, I believe, Equifax and Credit Safe, and then you're going to get that trade line. So you could really master it and take advantage of that. I would. I did it with some, so why not? A lot of this stuff, if you really want to build a crap load of business credit and get all like I got, I wouldn't suggest anybody get as much as I got. I was a guinea pig for you guys, but if you want to get, say, half of what I got, as long as you have, say, maybe 2 to 4 hours of time a week with my mentorship or not on my mentorship. If you do this, you could watch all my content and do it yourself. I'm not hiding anything. There is some things that, strategically and leveraging that I can't really put out there to the public, because there is a lot of scammers that watch and people up to no good that ruin it for everybody else. But as long as you put in the time, just dedicate 30 minutes after you get off work or whatever per day, per night, doing, these different tasks, either on my mentorship or watching my videos and following along. Regardless, if you do that, I promise after like 3 months, you're going to get a lot of business credit that you could actually use, like good business credit, not all these crap ones that people are always talking about. Oh, PECS score, get this, get that. Those are nonsense. Okay. So if you use these different resources available, you could literally eCredible, Fair Figure, and Nav, all those combined, you could potentially get up to like 15 different trade lines reporting, and that costs you less than $100 a month. Get it. That's a no-brainer. Don't try to get these other stupid ones that are out there, there's no point. Some of those other starter vendors, also Red Spectrum, I've been hearing more and more about it. I've known about them for years, but some of my mentorship students recently had paid them a lot of money, and they kind of screwed them over. So stay away from that company. I'm going to make a video about them here soon. So stay away from them. But yeah, that's the other resource that I'm saying. And I'm going to cover 1 or 2 more things, and then that's going to be all for tonight. I will get to the comments right before I end the stream, but it's only going to be maybe 5-10 more minutes, and then we'll be done. This live stream will be available for replay, so anybody can watch it. If you're just coming in, I would suggest you to watch the whole replay. There's a lot of good information over almost 2 hours long that you definitely want to catch up on if you missed it or you just came in. And also, if you're just coming in, anybody that didn't hit the thumbs up, please give the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, because it will help the replay get out to a wider audience. And subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. All right, next one. You guys know Divvy. I just thought I would bring it up because it's still, they were kind of going through a wave where when they first launched, they were giving a lot of approvals easily. And it's also no PG and doesn't affect your personal credit whatsoever. It's soft pull, but it was easier to get approved, say, in 2021 than it was, say, a year ago. But what I've seen, because I'm a strategic partner with them, what I've seen in the last like 90 days, a lot of people are starting to get approved. But 6 months ago, 9 months ago, it was much harder to get approved. I see that because there wasn't as many approvals coming through on my back end, of my dashboard, where I can, check the stats of people coming through. And I've made like 12 different videos about Divvy, Bill. So I think they've reduced their requirements a little bit, their underwriting requirements. And that could mean they're giving lower limits too. That's okay. Just build up the relationship and you can always build it up later and get a limit increase, I think, after 60 days. So the link is in the description below. Please use my link. It helps support the channel. Plus, it's going to go right to my account exec rep. So you're going to get a quicker underwriting decision using my link than if you just go to the main site. So like I said, this is expense management. Most of you guys should know this already, but if you don't, this is one of my very first FinTech approvals. I got a $150,000 limit. It does have to be paid back every 30 days, billing statement. It does reports Small Business Financial Exchange and the Business Credit Bureau. So definitely get this. I have seen people get approved with only like fairly new business, and they will look at your Experian Business Credit. I know that for a fact. But you know, the lowest limit I think I've seen is like $1,000 or $1,500. So I would say the average though is like 10 to 30,000 is the average limit that I see people get approved. Although one of my mentorship students like a month ago got approved. He just signed up, and after like 2 weeks on my mentorship, I told him he's ready based on his situation. He was ready to go after some of these FinTech cards. He applied for this one and got 100,000 instantly. So, and keep in mind, a lot of these FinTechs eventually they're gonna, because they're fairly new, you know. When I say fairly new, under 5 years. So this new creative financing where it's not really focused on your personal credit and it's focused more on your business credit and your business revenue, a lot of these are starting to offer more business credit products. Like it's only net 30 now, but here in the near future, just like Ramp, they offer a flex pay, but those are very hard to get unless you're, you know, have over 75,000 in your business bank account. But they started off as like net 30, right? And then now they go other products where they pay invoices for you, line of credit and flex line where you can get net 60, net 90. So like Bill and all these, not saying they all will, but a lot of them are expanding different credit products because they don't want you to go to their competitors. So they're going to try to provide as much as that as possible. So, you know, build up relationship with all of them, and then doesn't mean you have to use it all now. Just have it there at your disposal because it's going to be easier to get approved for any business line today than it will be, say, in 1 year from now. You know, every month it's going to get harder and harder. That's just the way the economy is right now. And, you know, there's always going to be scammers out there taking advantage of no PG lines. So banks and financial underwriters institutions are tightening up. So get as much as you can within reason, of course. Don't get like net 30 vendor accounts that you don't have any use for, like Sunbelt Rentals, Sherwin-Williams. Like if you don't have use for those, you're not renting a crane or tools, then don't get it because it's not even a report. Most of these won't even report if you don't use them. So at least use it. If you're gonna go after it, then use it. But only get something that you could actually potentially use personally or in your business. So the link is in the description below. If you want to apply for that, you can apply. It's not going to hurt your personal credit at all. What's the worst thing they can do is come back and say, no, we can't approve you. That's it. That's the worst case scenario. So if you apply today, they allow you to apply after 30 days if you get a decline. So just try it. Just use the link in the description below because it does help support the channel and you'll get to my rep. Other one is Grasshopper. I don't want to say they're new because they're not new, but they're starting to get bigger out there. But I would get a personal bank account with them and just open up with like say $100. They offer other things, but they offer a free checking, free business checking. I can't say too much, but I will tell you that they do have like say startup funding. SBA loans, commercial real estate. If you're trying to get into commercial real estate, say you're not ready yet on the personal side or on the business side to be able to get funding for commercial real estate, or say you're not ready or you don't have enough history or business income coming in or sales coming in right now to be able to qualify to be able to get a traditional startup loan or commercial real estate loan. I would still go ahead and get, like I said, interbanking relationship. Just click on the link below. And I know this for a fact because I have somebody on the inside there. There's only so much I can say, but soon I'll be telling you guys more. But anyways, just open an account and just put $100 in there just to start off with, right? And you can use that $100, but just use it, and you can have the account literally in like 5 minutes open. It's so easy. I have 2 accounts with them, but literally it's not going to cost you anything, and you get rewards 1% cash back, and it's a debit card. A lot of debit cards, business debit cards for checking accounts, they don't give you any rewards. They actually give you 1% cash back. So not bad. And then you can send invoices to your customers right within your online banking, your business online banking. They have bill pay, they have automated bookkeeping, deposit checks instantly. So it has everything, but I would go ahead and get it. The link is in the description. Please use my link signing up. It will help support the channel. But the other thing about them that's good is, like I said, if you're trying to get, if the long-term goal or the near future goal is to get, say, funding and large amount of funding, use all these resources. But if you can put 1,000, open this up and put 1,000 into it, then do it. But at least do at very minimum $100. Start building up that relationship with them. It's interbanking relationship, and you could potentially have your account opened in 5 minutes. If you pass all their, like, say, checks and stuff. And you don't need much. You just need your tax ID and just the standard stuff. That's it. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it on that point. But like I said, I can't really say too much, but they do have a lot of different business funding products in real estate, so let's see here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let's see here. So they got sponsor financing. So it's like securing a revolving line of credit. These are senior term loans, but let's go over to the right here. Commercial. If you're into commercial lending, or you're trying to get funding to, say, do real estate investments, fix flips, rental properties, whatever. You may not qualify yet, but like I said, you're going to be having a harder chance to get approval with them if you don't already have business relationship with them. How you can do that is just with $100. So, they have loans starting at $1 million. They have lower than that too. This is just for the real estate, $1 million. And you could do that. It doesn't have to be just on one property. It could be across a couple of different properties. They have liquid lines of credit. Say you're doing like foreclosure or something like that, auction ones. So they do SBA lending, 7A loan, in less than 10 minutes. And then you go from there. They allow partner buyout, expansion, real estate construction loans, debt refinance, success planning. So they offer the SBA 7A loan and SBA 504 loan. Again, even though it's a government-backed loan, get a small business checking account. It's a free small business checking account. Get that. I would definitely get that. Like I said, you could have the account in 5 minutes, and it's only, you can open it with like $50 or $100. I think it's $100 if I'm not mistaken. But just get that. Use the link in the description. Let me go over here to the last thing here. What's this? The venture capital and promote your firm. Oh, that's for private equity. But one thing I do know is they're offering a creative line of credit here very soon. I have account executive there, and I can't really say more than that, but you definitely want to have that interbanking relationship built up with them already, because then you're going to have a better chance to get actually that new business line that's going to come available soon in the near future. I can't really say much more than that until I get the green light from them. So just open up a small business checking account and then go from there. I believe the link is Josh or something like that. Let me see here. Hang on. I think I had it here. Okay. I mean, the link's in the description below anyways. You'll see it. It'll say Grasshopper and the link. So use that. And then if you go ahead and set up and just email me support@joshvanhorn.com if you want to know more, and I can kind of give you some inside information. I just can't put it out there to the public, but if you sign up, just let me know, and then I can just send me an email, support@joshvanhorn.com, or text me, and then I can give you some more details about what this business credit line that's going to be coming available, that's going to be offered here very soon. So just take my advice, hint, hint, get the free business checking account. You don't have to use it as a primary, although they're a good bank, but just get it so you have that interbanking relationship. Let's see. I think there's one more thing that I wanted to cover. Let me look here. This is another one, Naven. It's a travel business card, and they give you you can save on flights and anything that you book, say flights or hotels, rental cars. You can get cash back from it and get, like, say, like this shows here, earn $81. It's $185 a night as an example, and then you can earn $81. So why not get cash back? But onboard your company with Naven within 30 days and earn $500. So you're going to get $500 towards, like, say, hotels. So one of my students already got, used them. He didn't get the line of credit, but he used them just to get the $500 and got some free hotel nights. Now it's free. I don't know why they have pricing, but it's free for everybody now. They just announced that. They do offer a line of credit. So what you do is set up your whole account for your business, put in all the information, connect to your business bank account, add a debit card or credit card. And that's just for the travel portal, right? So it's like, so you can book hotels or flights or whatever, travel on them. Not saying you have to do that, but you want to connect to everything. And then you'll see a button that comes up and it'll say, apply for the corporate card. And it's also a net 30. And then after that, it literally takes less than 24 hours to get a approval. Typical limits on that range anywhere from 5,000 to 20,000 is about the highest I've seen. But they offer a line of credit as well. So, but they definitely save you money when it comes to traveling. So even if you don't use the, say, line of credit, or you don't get the line of credit, if you travel, then it's definitely worth it, because it saves you money, definitely, and you can earn from it, especially if you're already spending money now, on travel for your business. Then, why not get rewarded for it? So let me see. I'm trying to see if I see this here. It's within the expense management. But they're also okay with, like I said, small businesses and startups. Like, that's their ideal customers. So link is, I don't think I have it in the description below. I'll add it after we get off here, but I'll add it. I think I forgot there. But yeah, here's the expense management. And then within that, you can apply at the bottom. It'll say, getting the line of credit. So that's it for this. Let me go through the questions now real quick. And then I promise I'm going to start doing more live streams more frequently. I've just been getting things back on track. A lot of things in the works. Like right now, I also got a business credit course that I'm going to be launching for those that can't really afford my one-on-one mentorship. I'm offering a course here soon that I've been working on for about 2 years. All right. Good question here, Doc Motivate. Is funding for a LLC different than funding for a S Corp? Well, I wouldn't get an S Corp unless you have a reason for it. Even like Google is an LLC. Some of these biggest companies in the world are LLCs, so LLC is fine, and LLCs are the easiest to set up. I can't give any more advice about that because you need to talk to a attorney or tax professional. However, I can tell you that there is some business credit lines or trade lines that if you're an S Corp, they won't let you continue on the application. And there is a couple of reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into that too much right now. But if you already have an S Corp, then there's not much you can do about it. However, if you haven't already started your incorporation filing and you're debating between C Corp, S Corp, and LLC, you can't really go wrong with an LLC. If you're just some new business or you're just now starting off, of course, there's benefits to each depending. That's why you need to speak with a tax consultant. But, of course, with the S Corp, you don't want to get double taxed, with a C Corp. S Corp, you're going to get kind of the benefits of an LLC, but have the structure kind of also like the INC C Corp. But overall, LLC is fine for a majority of people. And there's no problems with building business credit with LLC. S Corps, I have seen a couple, like I believe Capital on Tap does not allow S Corps. I think it's on the top of the application. They don't allow. There's a couple that don't allow S Corps. D Wells, Big D has entered the chat. Hey, what's up, man? I'll get with you here soon. I'm setting up my Slack. My computer crashed the other day. I had to restart things. So be in touch with you soon. Sassy, sorry, you guys, that I took so long to get to these questions. Didn't plan on being here for 2 hours either. So is applying for a business credit as a new business less than 1 year old versus an older business 5 years to get business credit with no docs, no bank statements? No, I mean, docs are going to be required new or aged existing. Docs are going to be required for pretty much any business line of credit. Especially if it's over, say, 75,000. But even ones that aren't 75,000, they may not require docs, but they're going to require bank statements. That's pretty much the way things are now, especially if it's no personal guarantee. A lot of these fintechs, they're going to require to connect your business bank account. Having a 5 years old business is going to help to a certain degree if you already have business built up. But if you don't have business credit built up on the 5-year-old one, then it depends what you're trying to do and what type of business it is, because it depends on risk rating of what type of industry it's in, what you're trying to do exactly. Just you can send me a text and I can do a free consultation and fill you in on things. I can give anybody free advice and a free consultation. It's not like you have to do my mentorship. I can schedule just for like 10, 15-minute free phone call, answer some direct questions, because I don't like giving just broad answers to something like this that you're asking me. It's a great question. However, I need a little bit more details to be able to give you a full transparent answer to that, because I could say, yes, I'd rather have a 5-year-old business. I'm going to have better luck getting business credit than, say, one that's less than 1 year old. However, if that 5-year-old business is a higher risk than the one that's 1 year old, industry and that code wise, then that could be a different story. And say if that one that's less than 1 year old is doing, say, more business than, say, the 5-year-old on gross monthly earnings, then no, the 5-year-old isn't going to be beneficial. So you can pretty much get any business, no PG, different credit lines or trade lines, like all these behind me, being a new business. There's not much. Of course, having 5-year-old business is better, but if you haven't built up business credit for 5 years, then it's almost like it's not really, doesn't really make a difference on 1 year old or 6 months old or 5 years old. I mean, it helps maybe just like 5%, like Citibank, for instance, the no PG, say Costco, and what is it, Home Depot card. Those are no PG, but they require you to be in business for at least 3 years to get approved for those. You could have 20 trade lines and be 2 years and 10 months old, and you won't qualify. You won't get approved with them. They're strict about years in business. But there's very few like that, like Synchrony with Sam's Club and the VG. They care about the trade lines, but they don't care how old you are. You could be in business only 6 months and get approved for $20,000 MasterCard if you have the right Experian Business Credit trade lines and your rich filmographic data is correct and very full. So your rich filmographic data has to be very thick. Don't prematurely apply for the Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard, because there's no point to. You're taking a risk of getting issued only the store card, and once that happens, it's going to be harder for you to get that into the actual MasterCard down the line. It's going to be harder to get an increase once they give you a lower limit, starting off a low limit. So do these prerequisite things that I've talked about in other videos. It's like one thing I talk about a lot of times in my mentorship too. All my students always try to say they want to go after that card. I always say, just pump the brakes, just wait. Let's get these prerequisites done first. You need to get listed. You need to be in the 401 database. You also need to be in Verizon's telecom backend database. You need to be in AT&T's business backend database. You also need to be in, I believe it's, what is it, Comcast and Spectrum. And you have to do these all manually. There is some services out there do it for you. And the get listed, what is it, getlisted.net or org. I've made videos about it. That will help you to a certain degree, but it's not going to get you in on all. Like if you've applied for Sam's Club, no PG, or any ones that's issued by underwritten through Synchrony, and you get your business information cannot be verified, that's why it gets declined. That's the reason. Then that's one of the main reasons why, is because you're not in the database that they pulled. Even though if you think you're in the database, it's hard to check. There's hoops you have to go through to check. It's not like you can just call someone to check. It's not that easy. You have to go through a few hoops and stuff, so just set yourself up for success, because it's a lot easier to get a limit increase with, say, Synchrony for different underwriting cards that they offer. Sam's Club, Florida Core, Lowe's. They even do one for like e-commerce that's for like Alibaba and stuff, and a couple others they do as well. But it's a lot easier to get, say, if you have a starting limit of 10 or 15,000 as your starting limit, it's way easier after 30 days of having that account to contact the credit department and request for an increase of like say an extra 5 or 10,000 more, you have a better chance of getting that approved for limit increase than say starting off with a $3,500 or a $5,000 initial starting limit and then trying to get limit increase. You're gonna even be hard to even get $1,000 increase if your starting limit's like 5,000 or lower. And 3 months later, you try to ask for an increase, it's gonna be hard for them to give you any increase. That's just the way it is. That's just their system, how they are. They're underwriting for limit increases. But if you have a decent limit, starting limit 7,500, I would say, but really 10,000 is the best. I would say is the best starting limit. But if you have over 7,500 with any of Synchrony underwritten credit accounts, business credit accounts, and you want to get a limit increase, you can get a limit increase just after like 30 days of having the account, making one payment. And you have a very high chance probability of, you just have to know the right wording to say to them on the phone when you get to that department, when you're requesting that increase. Don't do the one online where you just, within your Synchrony Pay account, you don't want to just hit request increase. Some of them allow you to do that, but then some, when you click it, it says call the number. But you always want to talk to somebody because you're gonna actually be able to, if you say the right wording, you're going to be able to talk them into giving you an increase. So, you have to justify it to a certain degree, but don't overindulge too much information to them. You can use excuses like say, hey, I have a fairly big project coming up that I'm going to be using the Lowe's card or the Sam's Club card, and I don't want to have very high utilization being reported on my business credit reports. You guys, I know, report, the data and usage account data. So I don't want to have high utilization. My limits say $10,000, right? And I plan on spending 7,500, but I don't want to have that high utilization. So would you guys mind giving me a limit increase of say 5,000 more? So then my limit's going to be 15,000. Don't ask for crazy amounts. You can always do this gradually over every couple of months. Do this, but just request say that 5,000. So then you would say, then that would make my utilization, if I have the upcoming purchase that I'm going to use of the 7,500, then my utilization is only going to be about 50%, and that's going to not affect my business credit too much. Don't get too deep into it with them because they don't understand business credit to that extreme, but you just want to kind of say something like that. And I'll always talk real nice and friendly with them and be professional. How was your day, or how's your day going? And, talk about summer or something, vacation coming up. Do some small talk, and that'll get you very far. Get them to laugh, and then they're going to put you on hold because they're going to ask you, what do you want? You can't just say, can I get an increase? And then they're just going to say, okay, let me check. No, they're not going to do that. You need to explain like how much you want the increase and give a brief reasoning why you need the increase. And that's the example that's always worked for me and others, my students as well. And 9 out of 10 times you're going to get that approval, the increase for the approval. And you can do that literally like every month or every 2 months, as long as you can justify it and you're showing the spend. But don't do it if you're not even spending anything on it. That's not going to work, But even if you've only spent like say 2,000 out and you didn't spend that 7,500, that would be okay too. You can just say it didn't end up being that much, but it definitely helps doing it like what I just told you. They're going to put you on hold after they ask you a few questions just to look at your account and your payment history. Even if it's a fairly new account, it's okay. As long as you made one payment, then you should be okay. As long as you're not asking for crazy high amount. Then after that, they'll come back on. And really, that person has the power to either approve or decline. Their system's not the one that's saying, no, don't give. They'll give them some gauge on the back end, I'm sure, but agent that you're talking to is in the credit department and has a lot of weight on if you're going to get the approval or not for the limit increase, you know. So that's what I would suggest when it comes to that. But don't prematurely apply for that at all, please. Just like there's prerequisites to take and do. I've made videos about it just even like a month ago about, you know, what to do with the Sam's Club and OPG Business MasterCard if you're trying to get that. Make sure that you have this prerequisites taken care of, and then you can come back and tell me after you did that, I bet you get approved. Like 90% of the time you're going to get approved if you do what the steps I tell you to do, you know, and no docs or anything are required for that. So, and like I said, it's no PG. So take that advice for sure. Let's see here. I'll go through these real quick. Nick says, is it possible to rehab your business credit or start over in a new business? Yeah, Nick, depends what your situation is, but you know, some of my students, they've, you know, started a mentorship because of having issues with their business credit. But again, this is like one of the questions I would need to, I can't really give a full answer on transparently because, you know, there's a lot of unknowns that I would need to see first. So you have my contact information, get in touch with me, and then we can check and see. I'll give you my honest advice, you know, even if it's not something that you want to hear. I'm never going to tell anybody, you know, when I'm doing a consultation or even my free viewers here, like you guys, or my mentorship students, I'm never going to tell anybody, not a single person, what they want to hear just to make them happy or whatever. You know, that's not how I do things at all. You know, I have high integrity and ethics, morals, values that I stand by. And I will tell you, it's, I don't want to say the truth hurts, but I've actually shown, you know, that anything is possible. You know, I've overcome a lot of adversity. You know, I lost my oldest daughter, my little brother, my little sister, all in the last like 4 years, right? And then like in 2017, I was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's, as a lot of you guys may know. So I got better from that though. I had some treatments and stuff, but yeah, I've overcame all of that, you know, and was able to get all of this, even though I got all of this during all those hardships that happened on the personal side, you know, with my family and stuff. But, you know, if I can do it, anybody can do it, you know. And I'm in the Philippines too. I did a lot of it in the Philippines. I travel back and forth, you know, my wife's Filipino and my kids are as well. Most of my kids. But that's all I can say is, you know, anybody can do this, honestly. It doesn't matter what your situation is right now. Put your mind to it, effort into it, put the time into it. Even if you don't have much of any business right now, I'm not saying you're going to be able to get all of this and the black card like I have and all of that, but you can actually get quite a bit, you know. Some of my very first approvals, I didn't have to show any income, didn't have to show anything, and it was so-called tier 2s and tier 3s. That's why I don't really believe in much of the tier system. I've proven it to be wrong because a lot of my first approvals were so-called tier 2 and tier 3. And those are some of the revolving accounts as well. So, okay. And then Doc says text 937-423-9954 for free business consultation or emails Josh directly, support@joshvanhorn.com for more information. Okay. Nick says ready to go. We will text you tomorrow to get started. Sounds good, Nick. NJ Mendes, haven't seen you in a while, bro. Coach Josh, good to see you. I can't wait for the mentorship. Keep eyes, Don Cleaner. Yeah, Don, I haven't heard from you. Just send me a text. Let me know. Hubby has a freight company. but he established as an LLC. Now he wants to add a transportation business. INC, should we have a DABA for them? I don't know why you'd want to do a INC C Corp. You're going to get double taxed unless you're doing. I have to be careful about my wording here, Sassy, but this isn't professional like tax advice or legal advice or anything. I need to say it's for entertainment purposes only. But with that being said, unless you're doing over $1 million a year and have several employees, like over 10 employees, I don't see a reason to have an INC. You're going to get double tax. There's not much benefit for it. I mean, there is, but there isn't, and I don't see any for you. I mean, again, I don't know what your reasoning is or your husband's reason why wanting to do the INC. I would start another LLC or use the current LLC. And you could always do a DBA, but that you're not going to really benefit on that. So I would just start a new LLC. There's a couple of different things you could do, but I just don't see why the INC, the C Corp, what would be the reasoning for that. So feel free to text me 937-423-9954, and I'll give you a free mentorship, give advice. Once you fill me in a little bit more details, then I can kind of give you some advice once I see a clear picture of what you guys are trying to do exactly, because there might be something I'm missing. Silverman Fox, I got NAV Prime, NAV Card, Fair Figure, eCredible. With your help, also, I have security card at Bank of America. I have Opus, but Opus said they only report to some bootleg place. Find my score. No, Opus doesn't report to some bootleg place. You're probably talking about Credit Safe, and they're not bootlegs. Place. Credit Safe is the largest business credit bureau in the world, and actually, just even the last 2 years, a lot of business credit lines, the underwriters say may pull Experian or Dun & Bradstreet or Equifax as their primary, but they're using two bureaus, and a lot of them are using Credit Safe to verify the data, the firmographic information. So if you don't have anything reporting on your Credit Safe, that could stand in the way of getting approved for several things. I can tell you that firsthand. So it's not a bootleg place. Even though it may be someone that you've never heard of, but Opus does report to Credit Safe, and it's better than nothing. I can tell you that. There's no other virtual office, or even if any office space that you may rent or retail spot, what landlord reports to any business credit bureau? So, I mean, can't really complain with that, but again, it reports to Credit Safe, and I would take that all day long. There's no problem with that. No problem, Doc. Silverman Fox, I haven't received any tasks to do. Silverman, I don't know what if you're one of my students, I don't know by your name. I don't know who you are exactly. So send me a text or whatever. It would help any mentorship students. Let me know what your name is. Send me a text or something. You have my information. But all my students have tasks. I've already assigned tasks to them. So I don't know if you're one of my students. Then you definitely have tasks. You just need to go in and look on your tasks tab. So, let's see here. Times have changed so much. Yep, as Madam Champ, what's up, bro? But also, it wasn't a lot of LLCs created, but the internet has destroyed a lot of good qualities. Yep, for sure, Madden. I mean, it's you know, internet definitely has destroyed a lot of things. I think you're talking back about the Dun and Bradstreet, all traditional things. But COVID brought a whole new level of scammers out there. So much fraud and stuff that happened, like billions of dollars. So yeah, Doc maybe stay away from that get rich fast crap, CPN, shelf corps, etc. Yep, exactly. If it sounds too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. If you're still in here, hit the like. I'm gonna be in here in a minute. Appreciate you guys use any links in the description below that helps support the channel. And then also hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Appreciate it. Abno, long time loyal subscriber as well. Thanks for the information. No problem. Britt, what's up? This may be a silly question. Will not having your business listed on Google get you rejected for loans? They're not making it easy nowadays. Verify business. I know. Banks check. Yes, that's like a prerequisite that I always tell all my students. You want to get a Google listing, a Google My Business listing. If you can't get that because of the virtual address or some addresses, Google requires different things. I would at least try. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Get it verified. And then get Bing Places listing, local business listing. That's free. They try to upsell you later. Say, no, you don't need it. You just want to claim your business or verify your business. Same with yahoo.com. Show Me Local. It's an online directory. You want to get in there. Merchant Circle, Better Business Bureau. All these can take some time, but like some of those are very quick. They take just a minute to set up, and they're all free too. So you are right though. They do. I know several underwriters and net 30 vendors that they will actually do manual searches. Nowadays, a lot of underwriters are actually, they look at credit reports and scores, but again, some of that can be manipulated, especially like Dun and Bradstreet. And Experian is about the only one that can't really be manipulated at all. But some of them, they base it on what they see, especially some of these fintechs that are self-funded. They're using their own money to give you a line of credit. So they're checking. That's one of the things they're doing. And some of them do interviews, like they're say, onboarding schedule call or whatever. They do a Zoom call. They may say that's for like interview or something, or onboarding demo or something, but it's not. It's actually like an interview to see if they can get a feel if you're going to be a scammer, or like they're going to ask you questions and you might get caught off guard, and they're doing that to kind of check and see if like how good are you answering these questions, and that based on your response and kind of your vibe will dictate if they're going to approve you or not. So they're looking at different things. I know all this because I've been through it all so many times with my students and myself, so yeah. But definitely get all those. They're all free. Like I said, all those online, the main directories that I mentioned, citations, get those because they'll show up after a couple of weeks. They'll get indexed into Google's database. And, you want to get listed. It's less likely for a fraud or a scam or a non-legitimate business to be listed in these different directories, right? So if you're established or you're a real business and not a scammer, that's just because there's so many that have no intention to pay back when you get these lines of credit, or even Uline, so many people even scam them, believe it or not. So it's less likely in the underwriter's point of view when they look and they see all these different mentions or databases or directory listings of your business. If they see more than one and stuff, then it's definitely not going to hurt, and it can only help you. So, and like I said, it's all free too. So, if any of them try to upsell you, just ignore it. Just say no thanks. they'll try to say, oh, you need this and that to help get seen by more directories or this or that, and we'll do a service for you. Just say, no, I just need that basic one. That's fine. And then that's it. And then you can go in and edit at any time. It's free. Just verify that you're the business owner. Credit repair is trash. Yep, nowadays. Check on Google. That depends who it's through and what bureau, Matt. There's not really a set date, but what really matters the most is the last 24 months. That's what really is the most important. And if you just have a late payment, that's understandable. That's less likely, less damaging in a business than it is on personal. Okay. Because businesses sometimes do have a late, but if you have multiple lates, that's a different story. Multiple different trade lines that are reporting late, that's a different story. And also understand business credit is not federally regulated either. So, you're at the mercy of the Business Credit Bureau to remove any late, even if it's a certain amount of time. It's like personal, it falls off after 7 years. With business, it can fall off after 2 years, or it could fall off after 7 or 10 years, or never. But the most of the data that's compressed is really the last 24 months. But then again, I don't have enough data to give you a full answer on that. I would need to know what bureau you're talking about and some more context to it. So feel free to text me 937-423-9954 to get some more information or find out more context on it. Or you can just email me, support@joshvanhorn.com, and give me some more context to it, and I'll get around to getting back to you and let you know what I think. How can I get my business credit report? Silverman Foxy, I think you said you had you're one of my students, but I don't know who you are. And if you're one of my students, you should already know how to get your business credit report. So I'm not sure. Brent Betts. I thought Ally pulled Experian Business. Have they updated? They pull Equifax Business. But then again, it also is going to depend if they're doing a fall over application, like I've talked about a lot in the last 3 months. I've actually made like a dozen videos about Ally in the last 5 years and OPG auto loans and stuff. But they're going to be looking at, as their primary decision making is going to be looking at on Equifax, right? But they could be pulling also your Experian. But what I'm saying is you want to build up your Equifax, because overall, a majority of all the no PG auto lenders are actually looking at 2 different bureaus. So it could be Equifax and Experian, or it could be Equifax and Dun & Bradstreet, right? So like for motor credit could be, say, Equifax and Dun & Bradstreet. But a lot of the no PG auto lenders are pulling 2 bureaus, one main and one as a sub overflow data. So what I mean by that is they're not getting the full report as the secondary pull that they're doing to make the decision. They see the full report, say for Equifax, and then when they're pulling the second one to give the decision for underwriting on, say, the recommended credit limit, then they're not pulling the whole report, because it's going to cost them more money, and business credit reports are quite expensive even for underwriters. So they're going to only pull what the information they need, and every underwriter is different on their parameters on that. So, they're going to pull only what they need to make the informed decision, and every underwriter is different too. But pretty much every underwriter, there's always going to be one primary that they use, and then one overflow as a secondary. Yeah, Nick, yeah, you're right. They pull, they could be pulling, they do pull Experian, business as a secondary. But if your Equifax is very strong and built up and you have a good account mix on that and age, or like just all the right type of accounts, then they're not going to have a need to pull. Their algorithm's going to tell them that. Their underwriting is going to tell them if they need to pull that second. They're not going to waste money and spend another $20 on, and that's maybe their discount pricing, but to pull the whole report, it's like $50. But why would they pull, even with volume discount? Why are they going to pull the secondary report and pay another $20, when they already can see that they're approving you, especially if you're only requesting a fleet of 1 or 2 or 3 vehicles? It's lower risk. You have to keep in mind vehicles are secured, even though it could be no PG, they're no PG, right? But they are secured because they can just repo it from you, so getting a $50,000, no PG business auto finance loan, right, is a heck of a lot easier than getting a $50,000 line of credit, like a revolving business line of credit. It's just because it's completely unsecured. There's no recourse. If you just take that 50,000 and, dispose of it or blow it all, the bank can't do nothing about it. But at least with having a lien against the vehicle in your business name, there's some recourse they can take to recoup and recover, so the risk is mitigated less, if that makes any sense. Brent, no problem. Nick, thanks for answering. Brent says, I just seen what you put earlier. Here is a nugget. I disputed my business report a few times directly with the business reporting agencies, and the negative account came off. Cool, Brent. That's awesome. Great. Yeah. What bureau was it, if you don't mind me? Was it reporting negative at all? Definitely. Any of you guys have any, live examples, give more context about it, because it will help others. I have tons of data, but, third party, like say any of my viewers, I'd love to hear that, because others actually will read these comments as well, So it's all about helping each other out too. That's what this is all about. What's up, Chad? Michael, Chad, what's up, man? Hit me up. I haven't heard from you in a while. Hope all is well. You haven't texted me in quite some time. You're still in the client portal. I haven't seen you do any tasks either. Yeah, Nick D. Wells, he's actually one of my old mentorship students back when I had issues, when I got needed to take time off back in 2020, early 2023. So we just reconnected, got him all set up and everything. Let's see here. Chad said, Josh is legit. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Signing up and watching. I don't know who you're referring to on who they are polling, but no, I don't know. I think maybe I talked too much and you guys were doing this. Maybe you're talking about PECS. No, I don't know which one you're talking about, but a majority do pull Experian if it's financial related. Experian Business Credit, but it could be pulling soft pull. If say Divvy, will pull a soft pull, but none of these are going to be hard pull. Josh, I missed you on here, Chad. Yep, I haven't done a live stream in quite some time now. I'm going to definitely do at least one live stream every week. If you guys are still in here and you guys miss my live streams, or you guys like these type of live streams, or want me to do more often, the live streams, kind of unscripted like I am now, like I've been doing, where I'm just giving out all these random things about business credit tips, then put a number 5 in the chat box right now. Oh, look who showed up here. Gregory King. What's up, man? You became a member. Appreciate it. Also, anybody else that you guys want to become a member, I believe it's only like $8 or $10 a month or so. You just click join. If you're a subscriber, then you're going to get some extra perks. And then you don't have to join my mentorship, but that just kind of just shows support. But then you get early access to content that I release before anybody else. So appreciate that, Greg King. But I haven't heard from you about mentorship. You started it and then you kind of like stopped in the middle of it. Didn't respond to my text either. Michael Wood, what other no PG business cards? Yeah, there's so many there. I mean, it's almost all those. I would say half of those are no PG. What happened? I am blocking. I don't know what you mean. You're not blocked. Everyone can see you here. Brent Betts, what bureaus they report? I'm not sure if they report, like, this brand new. I want to release about them because it's a line of credit that they offer. You know, they just started offering that, but I don't think they report any now. But that may change, or I could be completely wrong about that. I didn't get all the data yet as far as who they report to. I will find that out here in the coming days, but they may not report to anybody yet because you need to have a thick file as far as a lot of client database. And since their line of credit product is brand new, they obviously wouldn't have over 100 customers that are on a line of credit for more than 3 months. So it has to be, and to become a data furnisher and to be accepted by the business credit bureaus, you need to have at least 3 months, ideally 6 months. You need to have over 100. With Experian Business Credit to be a data furnisher, you need over 500 and over 6 months of data, and they need to review it. And it's a long process to become a data furnisher. So that's why some of these don't actually report to business credit bureaus, because it's so new. They need to get the right amount of accounts and data, because the business credit bureaus aren't just going to accept a small amount. It's not worth their time and energy to accept that data if it's a small file, you know. Fair figure I can't get. Michael, yeah, a lot of these you need to show business, some type of business revenue, or have business money, have funds in the business bank account to be able to get approved for these no PG ones. There are some that don't require any funds. You just need to have good Experian Business Credit. That's the number one thing for the no PG ones that are not fintechs, that aren't focused on anything besides business credit. You need Experian, a lot of trade lines. I don't want to say a lot, but 5 to 7 solid account mix trade lines reporting on Experian, and at least 2 to 3 months of payment experiences and payment trend data. Ideally 6 months, but you can get those. The no PG business gas cards, revolving no PG business MasterCard, Net 60, Lowe's card, revolving home improvement, floor and decor card, all those like that. So 10 bank accounts is the max link, plaid to publics. You mean you were linking 10 accounts? I only linked one, but a lot of these different ones, though, if you can link multiple and show, then the more data they have, the higher limit and higher chances you're gonna have for approval. Not financial advice. All right, cool. You've applied. All right, great. Text me though, your 937-423-9954. Text me or email me, put down your YouTube name, not financial advice, and just let me know what your business name is, so then I can check on my back end and see if I can find out anything by tomorrow. Not yet. I've been debating about that. It's $5,000 a year. Yeah, like I said, I don't even utilize any benefits for most cards unless it's cash back, rewards or stuff like that. But travel rewards, no. Unfortunately, I just don't travel. I don't travel. Welcome. I will next year, but the last couple of years, since COVID, and then having the young ones and my 2-year-old son, little Josh. I haven't really been traveling much, so kid and daughter just starting kindergarten as well, Izzy. So, haven't been traveling too much. And, but next year, that's going to be a different story. We're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and I'll be using a lot of those rewards. But no, I haven't canceled it yet. And I probably won't, but I probably will cancel quite a few of because I think I spend almost $10,000 a year just in annual fees with American Express, because I have 2 platinum cards, 2 gold, 2 green, a plum card, and then like 3 different business credit cards with them, and then like a Delta card, Marriott card, business personal. So add all those premium cards up. And I got them all because I thought I was going to be traveling. This happened like right around COVID time. So I thought I was going to be traveling a lot and take advantage of all those upgrades and stuff, like, Delta Reserve and Marriott Bonvoy, all those different cards. I thought I want to get the best status and upgrades and all that. But then after all that stuff with vaccines and travel ban things, then so yeah. That's another story. I thought I would utilize those, but I haven't, But I like the membership rewards points, that's for sure. I think right now with American Express, I'm kind of a hoarder on points because I don't like their conversion. It's not very good. It's like less than even 1%. If you try to do like a cash value, it's like a little over 0.5%. It's ridiculous. Nothing like others. So I'm not going to just put it towards that, So I use it towards transferring the credits into something else that I could actually use, like some type of travel or another airline or something. But I think like right now I have like almost 6 million points, I believe, more points. So next year traveling should be free for my family. Long overdue vacation. Greg, I don't get you asking me these questions when you're one of my mentorship students, and I've been trying to get a hold of you for like over a month, and you texted me back the end of May and said you were gonna like make a payment or something and get back on track, and I haven't heard from you. So get back with me. Where can you get a good corporate address that doesn't appear as a virtual address? Addison King, Opus premium locations, not the regular ones. You want to do the premium locations because they give you an actual suite number, a phone number, and it reports to Credit Safe. They give you an actual lease if you need it. And you can actually, it's mail forwarding, all that, and a live answering service 9 to 5. And you can actually use the facility too for an extra fee, but it's only $99 a month. Link is there. Use my promo code or the link, and you get $100 off the setup. So then it's only $99. But make sure it's a premium location, not a mailbox store. It needs to be one of the premium locations that's like a building, like a office building. So stay away from iPostal. Even I promote Anytime Mailbox before, but only their premium locations as well. So you have to look for those. I've made a video how to spot those, what you want to search, how you want to go about doing that. Do some reverse searches on Google to be able to find that. It's okay to show as a virtual address location within reason because it's one big building. So if there's virtual offices, say, in that building, but then Chase is also in the building, or co-working space, or other big companies are in the building, then an address like that would be fine. It'd be hard for almost any big office building is going to have virtual offices in it somewhere or another. That's how they subsidize like extra earning streams, income streams for the suite owner or the floor owner or whatever. So you'd be hard pressed to find any downtown or any office building that's like 3 stories or more that doesn't have some type of virtual office or something, or small office space, that's for rent. So that's fine to get one of those. I would stay away from Regis now, because even if you have like an office space with Regis, they're starting to, some underwriters are frowning upon Regis. How do I get a hold of you to receive a consultation? The big banner is right below. It says text now 937-423-9954. That's my personal cell phone number. Please, you guys don't call it because it's my T-Mobile phone. Just text me. It's my personal phone. I'm actually in the Philippines right now. It's like 11 a.m. right now, but don't mind my time zone. I'm actually sometimes work 16, 18 hours a day, but then I'll take like, say, 12, 14, 16 hours off, so it just kind of depends. Sometimes I work 7 days a week, and then sometimes I work 7 days a week and then take 3 days off, and vice versa. So, but I'll be working this weekend as well for my mentorship students, and be available for consultations as well. So just text me, even day or night, even now after I end this live stream. I'm still planning on, I already got like over, I just glanced at it and there's over 20 texts from just this live stream of people requesting consultation last couple hours. So it does come in the order they're received and who responds back when I text back, reply back. So if you're watching this and you want to find out more information or want some advice, just text me now, 937-423-9954. And, at least I can send some information to you after you text. And then if you want to schedule a consultation, we can dial that in for either later tonight or tomorrow sometime, or this weekend. Okay. All right. 5. Got a lot of 5s here. Okay. All right. Greg. Okay. Go. Cool. You were sick. Glad you're better now. Yes, you can, but you have to go through a licensed person that can get it, not directly. So if you need that information, I can give you that information. I soon will start to be providing that report as well. So let's see here. All right, you guys. Welcome. Do I have the JC Morgan Reserve card? No, I don't actually bank with Chase at all. I did years ago, but I don't have any Chase cards at all. I stay away from a lot of traditional banks, financial institutions. Most of my personal cards and some of my business cards, almost all of them are strictly credit unions. think I have one non-credit union on personal side, but business and personal, they're pretty much all credit unions. And all my personal cards, I think the lowest limit's like 10,000, but the average is like 25,000 limit. I think my highest is like 40. So, typical like Chase cards. I know some of them go up pretty high and stuff, but Chase cards I don't like because I don't like the customer service is something that's very important to me. And I just, it's very hard to beat credit unions customer service, how friendly they are and stuff. Like even when my daughter passed away, uh, several years back, 4 years ago, I didn't even like tell them. They just had found out because I have an account rep there because they sometimes watch my content because I, talk about their business and personal cards on Credit Josh and this channel. And they actually sent like a standing huge like flower arrangement, like not just small one, a huge one for my daughter's service. So American Express did as well, but yeah, so you would never get something like that. I didn't ask for it, but you'd never get something like that from a traditional bank. So I just don't like this traditional banks. And, I also don't want any more accounts either, So anyways, and just to answer your card real quick, yes, mine is the personal Centurium, not the business. I could have got the business, but, I just did the personal one. And I'll open on that in more detail on why I chose. I already made one video about it already, but I'll make another video about more details down the line if people request it. And yeah, American Express's customer service is also just very similar to credit unions. Traditional banks, a lot of times they're jerks. Like their customer service is horrible. Even if you're a big business client, they're horrible. So anyways, yeah, I'm getting ready to end, even though I don't want to end because this is a good live and we have like over 25 people currently still here, and this is one of my best live streams, I think, in the last year or so, because I've only done like 3 or 4 live streams, but you guys want me to do more live streams. I'll be back maybe even this weekend. Okay. How many people are still here right now? If you guys want me to do a live stream this weekend sometime, then just put number 2. Just put 2. I appreciate all you guys too staying around. That are, even if you're just now tuning in, the live stream will be available for replay. So if you missed any, go back and watch it. It's definitely, I gave a lot of tidbits, information that you don't want to miss out on. What other people charge for, I give out for free. Of course, I charge for my mentorship, but for the one-on-one mentorship, just because it does take a lot of time. That's the other thing I wanted to show you guys, but it's kind of too late. But here's my mentorship site. It's just the client portal. You just do the register. It's clear, KLEER credit.com, clear credit. And then you just register, but don't do that unless I tell you to register. That's just the client portal. Okay. You'll get your login stuff and do your tasks every week that I do custom assignments to you guys. And it basically is just fast tracking your business credit and not taking shortcuts, but not wasting time either. What you'll take 6 months to do, you could do in potentially like 4 weeks, of my program. So, I have all the resources and proof and stuff that, I can show you how to get all that, So anyways, with all that being said, if you guys want any for the next live stream, I'm definitely probably going to do one this weekend. Get your questions together and put those questions right when I start the live stream, so I get to your question answered. Or if you have a direct and more complex question, just feel free to text me or email me, support@joshvanhorn.com, and I'll be happy to answer that and help you, as long as it doesn't take too much of my time, but as well as free consultations. But anyways, like I said, let me remove this so people can see it. I forgot. Text now, 937-423-9954, day or night. And if I'm awake or I'm around in the office, then I'm going to get back to you one way or another and let you know when we can do a consultation, whether it be right away or tomorrow or the next day. So anyways, with all that being said, you guys take care. I appreciate you guys spending the time with me tonight. You guys helped make this a great first kind of relaunch live stream that I haven't had in probably, I think, a couple months now. Let me answer this final last question here. I'm 18 with a new business. What would you recommend to set up business for funds? Destiny junk removal, 4,000 saved. That's too. I'm getting ready to end the live stream, and that's a big. There's too much unknown for me to actually give you good advice on that. Feel free to email me, support@joshvanhorn.com, and I'll ask you a few follow-up questions for me to give you some free advice on, point you in the right direction, because I do want each and every one of you guys to be successful, regardless if you're doing mentorship or not. I want you guys to be successful. At the end of the day, I love seeing the comments that I see almost weekly from past mentorship students or past viewers from 2-3 years ago that took my advice and applied it and did the same process like I showed to do. And then now their business is flourishing and very successful, and they have, 6-7 figures in business credit lines. Anyways, or Destiny, you could also text me 937-423-9954. We could just do a quick 5-10 minute free consultation, and I could answer your quick questions. All right. Yeah, you just email me. Got it. Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys, again. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys' support and everything. Before we leave, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Appreciate it so much. Again, it means a lot to me, you guys showing the support and everything. Okay. You guys have the great rest of you guys this evening, wherever you guys may be, time zone wise. I don't know if it's 8 o'clock or almost midnight for you guys, but again, stay tuned this weekend. Saturday or Sunday, I would be doing another live stream, possibly even tomorrow night, but more than likely Saturday or Sunday. Okay. The next time, you guys take care. Thanks.